Good morning, my beautiful viewers. How are you guys doing? Today's date is July 20th, 2026. Remember, guys, I told you in my last recording what was going to happen with the Caribbean. Now, off the coast of Mexico at this point, basically have, I would say, over 200 earthquakes. These are some really, really, really big earthquakes. And I'm not I'm not exaggerating. Just start doing your research and look what's happening in the southern part of Mexico towards Central America, and it's out of control. I mean, at this point, they said the waves. I'm reading an article that's from Central America. They said the waves now in that section where all the earthquakes are happening are like a foot and a half taller. So the waves are getting bigger. So I promise you one thing: if a really, really big quake hit, like let's just say 8.5, Central America, you guys are in trouble because, in a way, they're getting mini tsunami. The waves are rushing up the shore a lot higher due to what's happening out in the ocean, which is basically, I would say, 400 or 500 yards off the coastline of Mexico, southern part of Mexico and Central America, close to Guatemala and those places. So it's not that far out in the ocean, but these quakes are big. If they ever receive in that location an 8.0 or bigger, woof, the damage is going to be big. Now, I did say it was going to affect the Caribbean. Early this morning, Tobago got hit. I'm not surprised, man. It was like a 5.2. Tobago got hit at 5.2. Not surprised at all. Now, Venezuela, you guys I see seismic activity coming again for Venezuela, the part of Venezuela that's facing the Caribbean Sea. So I'm just letting you guys know from now, get ready. Also between Venezuela and Trinidad, a 4.8 again this morning. So two of those quakes, and one is on each side of Trinidad and Tobago. The first 5.2 was basically on the side of Tobago. The 4.8 was more closer to Venezuela, but in between Venezuela and Trinidad. So they register it under the location they register it at is under Venezuela, but it's really in between Venezuela and Trinidad, right there in the Caribbean Sea. Again, British Virgin Islands, swarms of quake happen in southern part of Mexico, and that 5.1 again in Cayman. So, folks, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record here, but if I live in places like Haiti, southern part of Haiti, Jamaica, section of Jamaica off the coast of Kingston, and the northern part towards Montego, these places are going to get rocked in the coming future. There's nothing we can do about it. We just have to prepare ourselves, guys. I can't stop it. I really can't. I'm just here. I'm just the messenger. I'm just basically kind of give you guys an idea what's about to unfold. And I really see some big quakes happening in the Caribbean. I say big in the terms of 6.0 magnitude to 7.0 magnitude, just like what happened in Trinidad. Not Trinidad, I'm sorry, Venezuela. And but again, I'm really I have to be very careful of how I present this information because some people are going to freak out. But I really do believe knowing is half the battle. If you know what's about to happen, you can prepare yourself a lot better. And I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to happen next week. This is going to happen in the short future that's ahead of us. The Caribbean is going to get hit, and it's going to get hit hard. All right. Now, also, moving from the Caribbean, the eastern part of the North American continent, I just want to prepare you guys, especially the eastern part, like eastern part of Canada, Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, and Quebec, these places, and also upstate New York. Quakes are coming. Trust me. What's happening in the Caribbean is going to send quakes right over in that location. And the Carolinas, especially South Carolina, I'm preparing you guys. Get ready. And once you see South Carolina start seismic activity start striking that location, it's just a matter of time before New Madrid kick off again. So, guys, this is just going to be a domino effect right now. So what's happening in the Caribbean is going to send seismic activity over there in the eastern part of North American continent. So get ready. Also, off the coast of Peru and Chile, you guys are going to see some pretty decent size quakes. Again, the San Andreas fault line, a 5.6 hit Vancouver Island, Canada, early this morning. I told you guys this was coming. I did. San Andreas fault line. I mean, they're not that big, but it's sending seismic activity over there. But almost a 6.0 magnitude hit the Cascade subduction zone. They registered closer to Vancouver Island, Canada, but it's really on the Cascade subduction zone. And I did tell you guys in my last video, what's happening in Mexico is going to affect the San Andreas fault line all the way up to the Cascade subduction zone. I'm close to Vancouver Island, Canada. Now, right at the tip of the Cascade subduction zone towards Vancouver Island, Canada, early this morning again, a 5.6 magnitude. So, what I am trying to say is, guys, especially California, wow. Now, we we are living in a very very interesting times. Um, it's I am so happy to actually see it, witness these things, and what I'm seeing happening right now off the southern part of Alaska. Big quakes again for southern part of Philippines. I'm letting you guys know. Get ready. Also off the coast of New Zealand. New Zealand, New Zealand, New Zealand. Heads up. Quakes are coming, man. There's a section called Auckland, New Zealand. North of you, out in the ocean, there's some big quakes happening right now. It's where you find the Kermadec Islands. These are some really small islands out in the water, north of New Zealand. And if it hit big enough, it could affect New Zealand with, obviously, quote unquote, tsunami. So, again, New Zealand, I warn you guys, get ready. Um, oh my God. Folks, I'm going to also throw this on this information that I'm putting out right now, which is on July 20th. Again, to see the rest of this video, I want you guys to go to my Spotify account. Also, you can find it on YouTube. Just type in Nick Thomas Show. All right. So just go to Nick Thomas Show on YouTube and Spotify, and you get the extended version of this show. So, folks, I'm urging people, stack up on food that doesn't spoil. We're going to have a problem with food. This is something I've been looking into for a very, very long time, due to the fact that if you want to know what's about to happen, the easiest way to find out is to look in the past. I've studied civilization, basically all of them. Talking from the Atlanteans, the Aztecs, the Mayans, Sumerians, the Egyptians. Really, the Egyptians was basically migrated Sumerians from Sumer, actually. So, but anyway, folks, every single one of these civilization I'm talking about, at one point in time, they do come to an end. One of the main factor what bring all of these civilization to an end is the fact that it's the lack of water, drought. There comes a point in time where our planet will experience severe drought. This drought will last for an average of 200 years. This is something I've talked about, preached, screamed. I beg people, No, I really do believe when people truly realize what's really happening, most people, it's going to be too late. They're not going to be prepared. Um, what I foresee in the next, I really do see a new civilization starting in the year 2265. It's basically 230 years from now. The drought's going to last for around 200 years, which already started. And I give an extra 30 years to get everything back in order to start off a new civilization. So what's happening now is the ending of one civilization, which is our civilization we're living in right now. Yes, I said it. The end of one civilization. There's really nothing we can do about it. We have to accept it for what it is, prepare ourselves for what's about to unfold, because our planet go through this. This is nothing new for our planet. Our planet been through this before. Every 3,654 years, our planet go through a process where it's like a rebirth of Earth. And it's not just our planet. The moon experience changes because the moon at this point is vibrating. Other planets are vibrating and sending off frequency in a way that have never been recorded before. So it's not just our planet that's been affected, the whole entire solar system. Now, during this process that we're going in right now, that we're in right now, we're going to experience severe drought. Water is the essence of life, guys. It is. Without water, we don't have life. Again, you remember what I said a couple minutes before I get here to this point in the conversation? I said, I've studied a lot of civilization and every single one of them come to an end due to the fact that Earth was going through a drought. All the civilization I've listed went through 200 years of it. 200 years of drought and lack of drinking water, and that's why they come to an end. And please don't think that we are special to not go through it. Trust me, we're not that special. We're already in it. This is where we're at in our cycle. We're at the end of it, where this civilization will come to an end and the beginning of another one will start. If you're moving forward, guys, if you're going to buy property, live somewhere else, find somewhere where you can actually have some form of water source. For example, a well. Never know, a lake. The billionaires right now are buying a property with big chunk of water on it, water resources. Look it up. So why not you do the same thing? If you decide to invest your money into something, make sure there's water on that piece of property. It's the essence of life. If the billionaires are doing it, why not you? Why would you want to go take your money and buy something, especially quote unquote, if you live in an HOA area where you can't even have a garden? What's the point of spending so much money on a piece of property where you can't even have food to eat? You can't even plant anything to eat. Does that make any sense? Moving forward into the future? No, it doesn't. Also, you would want to stay away from people. Getting away from people should be the number one goal right now. If you're awakened, if you're enlightened, you'll see the benefit in just being away from people. Trust me. Peace, wow. Peace is priceless, man. You can't put a number on it. And because of the frequency for our planet, how much is changing, guys. People, personality, people attitude are going to change with the planet. Because we're all of us are connected to this planet. So if one thing change on our planet when it comes to our frequency and vibration within the planet, human behaviors will. The people who are vibrating at a high level, the ones who are awake, and that group is very small, by the way, compared to 8 billion people on the planet. The ones who know what's happening, see it for what it is, making the adjustment, That's a very small group of people. But they're there. By the time people realize what's happening, it's too late. It is. There's an article I read about different parts of the world with their population and how fast it's decreasing. I'm not surprised. Japan, I think that their population went decreased maybe around 7-6% already in a short period of time. And it's not just Japan. This is happening in Africa. Population reduction has started. People are not having kids as much anymore because it's hard to take care of them because of the cost of living, lack of food, lack of water. I'll let you in on a little secret here in the video. I don't have any kids. I would love to. But do you know what? One of the main reasons, not because I don't meet somebody and have kids. I've actually been in a situation where I don't want kids. Younger part of my life, and the relationship ended because the person wanted, I don't want it. They don't want to be with me anymore. That's okay. But I'm not being selfish here. I, more than anybody, see things for what they are, see what's about to unfold. And I always think to myself, do I really want to put a kid in this mess? I know what's coming. Why would I want to do this? I'm not saying that's off the table. I would love to have kids one day, but the main reason I don't want to have them, look what's happening. Population reduction is real. Lack of water, drought, famine is real. It started. This is going to be the major factor. What's going to affect, decrease our population. A lot of people are not going to take this seriously when they see some content like this, due to the fact that they're so used to that instantaneous gratification. What I'm trying to say, if they need food, they go to the store. It's come take off the shelf. Water, they have easy access to these things. But very soon, those instant gratification is not going to be there. What are you going to do? Are you going to be in a position to feed yourself? Right? But again, keep stacking up on food. Always have food in your house. Dry food, food that lasts a very, very long time. Canned food. I've made a ton of video on these things. So no one can say that I haven't list items that you should be stacking up on. Water. You need a bug out bag for every person in your house, especially if you live in a city, and especially if you are around people, because there's gonna come a time when things will happen. For example, there's not gonna be any electricity, and that's when you need to get away from people because it's gonna be chaotic, and that's where the bug out bag is gonna come into play. All right. Very interesting times we're living in, folks. Again, thank you for always watching my video. Stay tuned for more, and I appreciate you guys.